So I wanted to do a quick video to let everybody know that the folks over at IK Multimedia as of today have released Tonex software version 1.7.1. Now this is nothing to do with updating the firmware of Tonex Pedal. This is a software only update. And one of the main features of this is to make it compatible with the recently announced Tonex One Pedal, which will be shipping out in the near future. But there's also some improvements to the software that I thought a lot of folks would be interested in that could maybe fly under the radar and not be noticed. So first things first, you can head over to IK Product Manager and go to the software tab under the Tonex software license that you have. It'll give you the option to update it. Once you've updated it, you can come back over now and you're going to notice a couple nice features. We'll look at the librarian for Tonex One in a second, but let's look at the software improvements. First thing you'll notice up here now is when we're on our home tab, you now have preset and tone model as selections right here. So we're able to manage presets and tone models much easier. We still have our little window here where we can import and export presets, but we can also have a preset button and a tone model button. So when this preset button is pressed, we're now browsing our presets, and you'll notice a really beautiful change here. We now see our amp and our signal chain up here. Previous to this, we had to be on our tone model tab to see this, and then it was a little annoying. We'd head over to preset, we'd pick our preset, and if we wanted to tweak it at all with our advanced parameters or our controls on our amp, we had to go back to tone model. This is much nicer workflow now. We can go to our preset, choose a preset, make a tweak to it, and save it right from there, which is just a lot easier to work around. So now we can just simply bounce back and forth between preset and tone model browser and always have our ability to tweak either tone model or preset at our disposal right in front of us. Now, another great feature is if you look down here where we have our filters. Before we had these filters here, and we could filter through our tone models and presets depending on what we were selected on down here. But you'll notice now we also have an info tab. And this was a feature that a lot of folks requested. So now what you can see here, and I'm showcasing my new Duke of Stone tone model collection that is basically a complex set of captures based off of, as you can see here, my 2-Rock Studio signature through a 2-Rock 112 cab using the MXR Duke of Tone pedal in front of it. So it's a kind of a combination and some interesting tones there, and I'll let you hear some of those when we get over to Tonex One in the librarian tab. But now what we can do is we can actually pull this up here, hit our info tab, and regardless of the preset we're on, we're going to have all of our information over here now, the character, the stomp based on, amp based on, and all of our info about that particular preset. Or if we're on the tone model tab, we can do the same thing, and we're going to see here that it has all the info of what's happening with our tone model, and the cab is based on this, a configuration, microphone, and so on and so forth. So that's a nice new addition. We can slip that down out of the way if we want more real estate up here, or we could bring that up all the way and scroll through the info for either our preset or our tone model. So a nice new addition here. So those two features, again, the ability now when we're flipping between preset and tone model to be able to access our full signal chain and parameters and be able to tweak right from there without having to bounce back and forth between preset and tone model mode. We always have these parameters up on screen, and the addition of this info button down here so we can now see the info without having to come over here and pull up a new window. We can always still do that, but this is kind of nice to have it at our disposal down here in the bottom left. Okay, so now the other big feature is heading over to the librarian tab, and you'll notice a different look on this, and I touched on this in the Tonex One video I did a couple days ago, but I have my Tonex One pedal hooked up now, and basically what I can do, you'll notice, is with Tonex One hooked up, I've got dual mode of Tonex One and stomp mode. Anybody who hasn't watched my video on Tonex One, I'll link to it below, but I'm going to explain that more in there so that you understand. But we have two modes on Tonex One. We can have it so that we can switch A/B back and forth between two different tone models. So for instance, this is this new Duke of Stone collection. So here's the clean on preset A of dual mode. But if I hit the button on my Tonex One, what you're hearing is the sound of my guitar plugged straight into Tonex One and into my audio interface, and that's the sound of it. It sounds great. So really cool stuff. Now, what we can do is also have stomp mode where we have the switch just turn the pedal on and off, so we could put like maybe a overdrive pedal capture in there, or so we could hit the front of an amp or another tone model or another Tonex pedal, whatever we want. But we'll take a look here at dual mode, and what we can do is we can come down to any of our tone models or presets down here, and we can transfer either a tone model without any tweaks made to it, or we could save a preset with reverb and compression and everything else. And all I have to do, you'll notice here in slot 1 and 2, I have the clean and the push 1. Well, I could come down here to push 2 and just drag it up there. Ask me if I want to overwrite that on the pedal, and could bring OD1 up here as well. I could also drag them directly up into the preset slot 2 and overwrite that if I want. But once they're up here, I can actually come in here and just drag them up to the slots that I'm going to use them with up here on the pedal itself. So that's going right onto my Tonex pedal when it's in here, and then I can assign them right within Tonex software to which slot I want. So now I'm on slot A, I'm on the push 2. Or going over, pressing my button on Tonex 1. Could also control that from here. And we have that ability to really quickly organize what we want on our Tonex One pedal. I could grab these and swap them like this and either overwrite or just swap them back and forth as well. So that's another nice feature we have there. As we've talked about before, we have enough room to put 20 tone models onto Tonex One utilizing the librarian. We can also do the same old things that we always could do, is, you know, export our library, import a library, import the default library, firmware update, and recovery mode from here also. One other really cool feature is we can click the little color button here and change the color on our Tonex One pedal to the color of the LEDs on the encoders, which is kind of cool too. So if we want to try to keep track of things and organize them by color, we can do so up here. And it's kind of an interesting extra way to be able to kind of know where we are on our tiny Tonex One pedals. I think I've covered everything in this new software update. I'm going to leave you with the demo video for my brand new Duke of Stone tone model collection. The links are below if you're interested in checking those out, and I hope you enjoy them. And I hope that that helps you to understand the new things that we can do and the little tweaks we have in our Tonex software. Go download that now, update your software, and I hope that helps your workflow. Thanks so much for sharing your time with me. Enjoy the music on the way out. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification, get notified when I put new content. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thanks again for sharing your time with me. Ciao for now.